much like fleas, yeast infections can be a really annoying and distressing problem for both your dog and yourself. That constant scratching, the hair loss, greasy skin, that smell, inflammation, general discomfort of yeast infections, it can really drive the both of you mad. And of course, as soon as the weather becomes warm and there's humidity like it is here in Queensland now, yeast really can start to thrive and cause major problems for your pet. Now, typical vet treatments involve usually the use of antifungal drugs such as fluconazole, which of course are not without their side effects and can actually become less effective over time as the yeast can easily become resistant to these drugs. So what about using herbs to treat yeast problems? Today I wanted to share with you two of my very favorite herbs for working with any sort of yeast problems. These are highly effective against yeast infections and are really a must if this is something that your dog is suffering from now. So stay tuned to learn more today. Hi there, it's Lyndall Pinchin, Canine Naturopath from Canine Vitality, and welcome to my channel, Happy Healthy Dogs, where it's my passion to help you help your dog live a longer, healthier life naturally. Now, thanks guys for being here today. I appreciate your support. I love that you're following what I'm, hoping you're enjoying the content. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the little bell to be notified of any upcoming, all my upcoming content video. So as I mentioned in the beginning of today's video, using antifungal drugs might be one option, but these drugs like fluconazole that I mentioned have many side effects. Now these include things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, fatigue, and further skin rashes, which of course you don't need. Now in addition, there is yeast resistance that can develop, as I mentioned, to any of these types of drugs. So let's look at a couple of my favorite herbs for working with yeast problems. Now the first one is one I've used for many, many years, pau d'arco. Now the pau d'arco tree is native to the Amazon rainforest, and it's the bark of this tree that is therapeutically used predominantly when it comes to treating fungal infections. Now within this herb are compounds known as naphthoquinones, which have the ability to kill off numerous types of microbes. Now this includes yeast, of course, bacteria and parasites as well. And it also has a very strong and resistant effect here. Now, as well as being able to kill off these yeasts and bacteria, etc., that do lead to that infection and the overpopulation, pau d'arco can clear toxins from your dog's gut and improve the overall elimination of their poo, which helps to actually further expose the yeast to the antifungal compounds that are found within this herb, and this can further inhibit the yeast growth. And finally, pau d'arco really is good at reducing gut inflammation, and this is fantastic no matter really what's going on for your pet. So that's my first one. But number two is berberine. Now, okay, berberine is actually not a herb, but if your dog does have yeast problems, berberine might just be their very best friend. And this active compound is found in a number of herbs such as barberry, golden seal, and Oregon grape. Now, one of my all-time fave herbs is golden seal. I've loved this herb since I started practicing many years ago. It's a very strong antifungal herb. But while I still rely on this amazing herb, it's really becoming more and more difficult to source, and it's incredibly expensive today. And this is mainly due to overharvesting, unfortunately, and loss of the natural habitat of this herb. So today I actually wanted to focus more on the herb barberry, as this is really an excellent alternative and a herb within its own right when it comes to treating yeast issues. Now it's a herb that is really rich in this berberine compound. Now what on earth is this active compound berberine? What am I talking about? Now berberine is known as an alkaloid. It's a very bitter tasting, and if you've ever tried it you'll know what I mean, yellow coloured naturally occurring chemical that has many benefits, but it's particularly well known with its ability to kill off microbes such as bacteria and yeast. In fact, studies have shown that this compound is more effective in many cases than the traditional drugs that I've mentioned, like that fluconazole that we talked about earlier, without the side effects and without the resistance that can occur to drugs with the yeast. But if your dog is currently on fluconazole, then barberry, being rich in this berberine compound, is actually going to help make this drug work more effectively in the body against any yeast issue. And the other really good thing about berberine as a compound is that it can really target in on the yeast and other pathogens, but won't affect the good bugs that already exist in your dog's digestive tract. So this is great news, because not only do you get the antifungal benefits of this herb, but your dog, their gut is protected in terms of the bacteria. So this will also help further assist in that yeast fight. Now, barberry are large native shrubs with thorny branches, and it's generally the stem and the root bark that contain the rich levels of berberine. In fact, barberry as a herb is known to contain around 5% of berberine within the bark, which is of the shrub tree, which is pretty amazing. So barberry as a herb contains quite high levels of berberine, making this the perfect choice to consider in regards to treating any sort of yeast problem. And barberry, of course, has, like many herbs, has many benefits. It has benefits for general bowel, liver, heart, and pancreas health as well. Now, because I always like to use tinctures and fluid extracts, as most of you know, in the herbs that I use, the doses I'm giving here are based on these liquid herbs. And generally, I would be giving around 1 to 2 drops per kilo of body weight twice a day. And this, of course, can vary. Now, if your dog is pregnant or lactating, please avoid these herbs. And if there are other chronic health conditions, such as maybe kidney disease, if your dog's a diabetic or other chronic things, please consult with your vet, holistic practitioner like myself, for more assistance. And of course, if this is you, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my contact details below. Of course, there are many other herbs you can consider for yeast: turmeric, oregano, garlic, olive leaf, calendula, thuya, and echinacea are some to think about. And remember, treating yeast involves changing the diet, reducing stress levels and chemical load, supporting gut and immune health, as well as using certain supplements other than herbs like digestive enzymes, which can really help break down the yeast's protective coating known as the biofilm. And this helps in killing off the yeast as well. All of these are important if you're going to try and get on top of chronic yeast problems in your dog. Now, both the herbs I talked about today feature in my antifungal blend, so I'll link to that below, and that is actually on sale for another week too. Guys, I hope you found this short video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so it can get shown a little bit more, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, if you do have a dog with an issue, whether it's yeast or anything else, please feel free to reach out to me, email me, message me below, or you can of course ring me as well. All my contact details are there. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are in the world, and I look forward to catching up with you guys in another video. I'll talk to you very soon, but until then, bye for now.